Good morning, guys, and welcome back to a brand new webinar today. I can't believe it's been 1 week since we last spoke. It's just like, wow, time is flying. And yeah, but I'm glad we get to do this catch up every week where, I update you on what's going on in the world of tech and you guys can ask all your questions. Remember, if you can't make it for the live webinar, obviously this is best because this is first-hand interactions. But if you can't make it, we are always recording these and we are uploading to the IT Varsity YouTube channel. So even if you want a repeat of it, just wait it out maybe till the next morning. By Thursday morning, this will be uploaded to that to the IT Varsity YouTube channel. And also, if I use any slides here, these will be made available to you. Right, without any delays, I want to do something very interesting and very exciting today with you guys. And it's actually a follow through on last week's conversation. So just to go over last week's conversation, we spoke about the no exam policy that we have at IT Varsity and how we focus on assessments, because those assessments are what we use or what we will use to try and get you into a job, because companies don't want to see that you passed an exam. They don't want to see that you came out top in your class. That's in school. That's the old lie that's perpetuated by schools, that exams are something good, but in the real world, it's not, right? In the real world, let's say you are working as a pro software developer and you get a job, you get a work handed down to you to build an app, to build a system in Java, Python, JavaScript, whatever it is. Nobody's going to give you an exam. The only thing they want to see is, can you build the solution? And if you can, good. If you can't, you just have to go and figure it out. You just have to go and put yourself through some courses, put yourself through some online courses or face-to-face courses, and damn, figure it out. That's how life is. That's how work is, no matter what you do. And there's always going to be new challenges. So nobody's going to give you exams in the real world. Your examination is the fact that you produced the work that you were supposed to produce. If they asked you for an app, if they asked you for an analysis document, you need to be able to figure those things out, right? So what is the core of your experience at IT Varsity? The core of your experience is the portfolio website. If I have to sum up your entire experience with us, it's that portfolio website. And that is going to be the key differentiator around whether you get a job or not. And in any case, it's the key differentiator between IT Varsity and probably every other institute that you will encounter, that you come out with a portfolio of work that you have done with us that proves adequately to your potential employer that you are able to do the work that you say you can. That is it. There's no secret sauce here. There's no other reason for having that portfolio website. And as such, I want to show you a perfect example of a portfolio website, one of my best, one of the ones that my team has chosen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. And I want you guys to give me a thumbs up if you are seeing Ridwan Williams, RW, Ridwan Williams logo. Fantastic. Thanks a lot, guys. Just interestingly enough, this morning I had a conversation with a lady who was sounding quite desperate. You know, her son just did his honors. Listen to me. His honors in computer science, and he can't get a job. He's sitting at home. But this guy, Ridwan Williams, he's only got, well, I won't say only got, because it sounds like I'm diminishing what we are doing. He did our qualification and he's in a 25,000 rands a month job right now. Why? Because look at him. Look at his work. Look at his website, right? Look at the beautiful sticky menu at the top. or it's not sticky, but it's a beautiful menu. Look at, I mean, the moment you land on this page, you automatically attracted. You wanna see more. So let's look at more. Let's see what his website looks at. Look at this. He puts his photo there. I would have chosen a little better photo, but he's got his photo, his little introduction to himself, the services he offers: graphic design, web development, e-learning solutions, right? And this guy went into e-learning solutions because he interned for us in building some e-learning courses. Get in touch, and there's his portfolio, all the projects that he's done. This section displays my projects, blah, blah, blah. Now look at it. All his projects. Some of them you might be familiar with, and others you will become familiar with later into your courses, right? So let's open up this one, Travel the World. I think you guys might, some of you might have done Travel the World. I think it's in module 1. I designed the course, but I forget now. That's how weak I am. Okay, but if you haven't done Travel the World website yet, you will do it soon, right? This one, Foodie Fanatics. This is the recipe book app. Goodbye Junk Food. Look at this site, how beautiful it is. Now this guy, any prospective employer looks at this, let's say, look, this is initiative. This guy knows how to build a website. Obviously, there's some work needed here. I mean, you look at this image, it's a bit smaller than that image. It's things that, you know, we sometimes we let slip. And this is the grading team. They should never have passed this, but you know what? Sometimes we overlook things. We are human. See, there's another issue here, right? But look, between you and I, prospective employers will be happy to overlook that because they need people, right? So there's his portfolio. Now, when I said that your portfolio website needs to show all your work, let me just go back to Travel the World, right? Now, I want you to take particular notice of the address bar in the browser here, right? Now, the address bar, as you can see, it shows a GitHub link. Can you see that? That means this guy's work is all sitting on GitHub. That alone will show a potential development company that, hey, this guy is using GitHub. So he knows some things about development, right? And that's quite impressive. So this, now he's showing some of the client projects. Fantastic. These are his clients. See, what he's done was he's done some free and paid work for some of his clients. So Arc Signs and Graphics. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, it's there. It's just loading slowly. So he built an e-commerce store for an actual client. I don't know what's happening with these images here. I think the client might have pulled them down. But look at this. Look at this. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Right? Let's see what he's done for Roman Entertainment. Oh, there's just an image there. There's no link. Oh, I think these are his graphic design projects that he's done. He should have specified them. Oh, he did. Duh. Okay, web design, graphic design, e-learning solutions. He worked for IT Varsity, that's true. Did a lot of work for us. And he did do work for the Al Falah College. He was one of the team that built the learning management system for the school. Guardian Institute, they did some projects for them also. So you see, we also put you guys sometimes, we also put you guys through some internal projects, which you don't get paid for. But you can proudly put them onto your portfolio website. but that's if and when we get these kinds of projects. Okay. Look, he's got some client testimonials here. Beautiful, beautiful. That's what people want to see. Social proof. Look at this. He is my go-to guy in the graphic design world. Thank you, Ridwan. What does it cost to get something like that? It's just a matter of humbling yourself and getting clients to do these things for you. Look, get in touch. He's got a contact form. You'll learn how to do all of this, right? This is an actual contact form. You fill in your information, you hit send, and it reaches you. Of course, he's got his WhatsApp number and his Gmail account here. Now, the next step after making this is that on his socials, what he did was, and this is something we keep encouraging y'all in the course, right? What he did was he continuously punted this on his socials, on WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, wherever. He just spoke to people about it, and that's how he landed himself a good job. And this is where you guys need to be, right? By module 6 or 7, you'll learn how to build this website. But now what you're doing is you are building up to it, right? You're building up to it on GitHub. So you got the individual projects that are sitting on GitHub. By module 7, now you'll build your portfolio website, which becomes the home for all of these, right? So you're gonna bring it all together just like he did. But you must also build up your social your social presence, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, wherever. Get eyeballs on your work right now, particularly when your website is ready. If you're getting 10,000, 20,000 visits on your website, there's not a chance, it's inconceivable that you won't get a job through this or you won't get client work through this. Cool. I'm going to stop sharing and I will open up for questions. Right, so Sabira is ahead of me with the questions. But before I get to the questions, I want to draw your attention to a video series that I put on TikTok last week. It's a video series entitled How to Start and Run 100,000 Rand a Month Web and Digital Business, right? Go and have a look at that. I gave you step-by-step guides on how you can start your own business in case you don't want to work for someone. In fact, in my business bootcamp yesterday, one of the delegates said that not just him, he put his whole team through that video series. It's only 5 videos. I think they're about 3 minutes to 4 minutes each video. But he put his whole team through that. And within weeks, by practicing on that, it hasn't been, it's been a week and a half, they are already starting to acquire clients. So it's not that hard, right? Have a look at that on TikTok if you guys are on TikTok. Okay, let's go to Sabira's question. If we are designing a website, should we take our own photographs or can we use free images on the internet that requires attribution and attribute the creators of the images in a separate link because I have concerns regarding image copyrights? Okay, look, there are websites like pexels.com where you can download the images, and even if you don't attribute, it's okay, but it'll be respectful to attribute. So I think use the images, but attribute, but also be careful that the creators of those images allow you to upload the images with or without attribution. Some of them, they don't even want you to attribute. They don't want you to use their stuff. So don't use it. But if you go to a site like Pexels, they request that you attribute, but if you don't, that's fine also. If you want to take your own images, all the better. All the better, because then you are developing your photography skills, and that will be incredible. That will be a very, very powerful skill to have in your toolbox of various skills. So go for it. If you are confident you can take good photos, take them. But be careful. Be very, very careful that your photos are really good, because one bad picture can make your whole website look a bit drab. And beautiful pictures can make an ordinary website look extraordinary. Cool, fire away, guys. Let me put the link. I'm going to put the link onto the chat, the link to Ridwan's portfolio website. So you guys can go and have a look at it later. Good morning, Jodash. Nice to see you here. So Imad says, does this course show us how to publish our own websites online? It's necessary. It's not just, doesn't just show you, it forces you to do that. I mean, if you look at Ridwan's website that we studied now, he had to build that. We give you guys free hosting for your website. So you can build that website and it's hosting for life. It's yours. It's your space. You can keep working on that website. So yes, we not just teach you, we take you step by step through the process of deploying your own website. So Jodash says, I'm still not sure how to start with my modules. Whoa, Jodash, that's a very broad question. Can you specify for me what you're trying to say? Then I can perhaps give you some advice on that. Nice to see so many of you here. I mean, a lot of you watch these videos after the fact, but this is the best, right? Just this interaction. Look, if you want this interaction to happen less frequently, I'm happy to do that, but I think once a week is great. Okay, Azra says, the WhatsApp group has been working so well, so if anyone didn't join last week or didn't watch the webinar, they can still join. Thanks for that, Azra. I really appreciate it. Great stuff. So guys, if you haven't joined the WhatsApp group yet, join the WhatsApp group. It's a very, very powerful way to collaborate and communicate. You don't know what you are doing there. You are actually teaching yourself how to work collaboratively in a remote sort of environment, which is beautiful. And you'll get all the support that you need from each other. I know my team is a bit slow to set up the Slack group, but they are setting up Slack. Slack is a chat like WhatsApp, but it's more structured, where you will even have access to all the IT Varsity people, including myself, on Slack. So that's going to be up and running in the next couple of days. Apologies for the delay on that. So NK wants some advice on web fonts. I think when it comes to web fonts, back in the days, we had a very limited number of fonts, but today there are literally thousands of fonts that you can use. But I would recommend two things. One is for screen, go with the sans serif fonts, and for printed material, go with the serifed fonts. Now, what is a sans serif versus a serifed font? Now, you'll notice that in some styles of writing, just give me a second, I want to put my laptop on charge. In some fonts, let's say they have the letter I, then they have that line at the top and the bottom, like the Roman I, capital Roman I. It's not just a straight line or a rectangle top to bottom. It also has that. Those are called serifs. Now, those look nice in written form, but on screen, sans serif looks better. So that's the best advice I can give you at this stage. And also, when you're going with cursive fonts, use them, if you have to use them just for headings. Don't use them for paragraphs. They look terrible. Keenan says, you mentioned last week that you and your team would agree on which platform you guys would use for us to communicate. Done. So we've settled on Slack, and that will be up in the next couple of days. But in the meantime, you can join Azra's WhatsApp group. You're more than welcome to join there. So Abdul says, just wanted to know when we're making videos of us working for our social media. Abdul, go for it. We don't, this, I'm not sure I understand. Can we show the IT Varsity page of instructions? Yeah, show the IT Varsity assets. Whatever you want to show of IT Varsity, show it. Don't wait for us. That's something you need to do on your own. Make a video on your phone, post it to your social media, tag me, tag IT Varsity. We will make sure that you get exposure. Oh, so Azra said, I made 2 videos of my work so far. If you have time, I always have time for you guys. That is why we keep our numbers to, well, we restrict our numbers. We have a cohort of 100 every month and no more than that. So I will definitely have a look at it, Azra. I'm actually looking forward to it. Thanks for letting me know. I, to be honest, to be perfectly honest, I don't spend a lot of time on social media. So if I overlook something, please forgive me. But when you do post something, do me a favor, drop me an email, bilal@itvarsity.org, saying that you've posted, and I'll make sure to have a look at it. Okay, definitely, Asra. I will have a look. Also, I want you guys, I want to introduce you to my podcast. I do a podcast Fridays at 11 o'clock on YouTube. If you go to my YouTube channel, Bilal Cat, @Bilal Cat, let me just share that here. I started a podcast a few weeks ago. The podcast is nothing like this. I don't geek out in the podcast. I don't talk technology much. It's just life advice. So have a look at it, and I'd love your feedback on my podcast. So go and have a look at it. I'll really appreciate it. But this space here, this webinar, this is us geeking out, and this is just the start, right? As time goes, we're going to get into artificial intelligence, Java, Python, you name it. So Jodash's question, very good question. Once our year is done, do you guys find jobs anywhere, or can we give you a selected area? It's up to you, Jodash. If you want to work remotely, that's fine. You want to work in a specific area, that's fine. We will help you with that. Not an issue. Whatever works for you. I mean, I had a student uh, who was living in Durban, but he was working for a church in the United States remotely. So we've got lots of students working both locally and remotely. It's up to you. So Azra wants to know, could I advise the students of what apps to use, because I downloaded 6 apps and only one works properly to screen record on their laptops and edit their work. Okay, go for it, Azra. Go for it. Maybe if you guys want me to do one of the webinars, which is a tutorial on screen recording, I'll be happy to advise you guys on that. So let me know. But Azra, in the meantime, put it down here in the chats. That'll be great. Okay, Screen Recorder Pro and Microsoft Clipchamp. I'm guessing for those of you who are on Windows devices. For those of you who are on Mac computers, you can use QuickTime Player. It's got a built-in screen recording software. So on Windows, Microsoft Clipchamp and Screen Recorder Pro, and on Mac computers, the stock standard QuickTime Player will work. So Kate wants to know if we want to do another course with y'all next year, can we? Yeah, sure. I mean, talk to me first. I will advise you whether it's worthwhile doing that course, whether it's a build-up. Look, we were supposed to introduce a diploma in software engineering this year, but unfortunately, because of our accreditation having not come through yet, I mean, these government departments are slow. It's been almost a year since we started applying for that accreditation. It looks like only next year will we introduce that. So those of you who are doing Java, Python, and React, next year you'll be able to do our diploma in software engineering. So Sabira says, you mentioned earlier that you spoke to a mother whose son did computer science honors and is currently unemployed. Is computer science a worthy degree to study, or is the market currently oversaturated? Sabira, that's a good question. It's not a matter of oversaturation. It's a matter of the degree is irrelevant to the workplace, right? And this has been my own experience when I was young. I did a computer science degree. I never completed because I was just very upset. Um, Not to run down the universities, right? That's not my style to run down anybody. But it's this: when you do a computer science degree, it's like going to a restaurant for tapas. I don't know if you guys are familiar with tapas at a restaurant, where they give you small amounts of a lot of different foods, and you just get an opportunity to taste everything. Now, that's great to give you a broad, a broad understanding of various topics of computer science. So there'll be something relating to coding, something relating to computer architecture, software engineering, artificial intelligence, 3D graphics, you name it. So they'll cover a lot of topics, but they don't go that deep. They just go a little in, and then you move on to something else and something else, right? And that's great for educational purposes, but it's not great for employment purposes, because if you are applying for a job as a software engineer, a software developer, web designer, app developer, they want to see that you have deep skills in that. That's why they ask for experience. Do you have sufficient skills that you can build real world applications? Now, a computer science degree, as good as some degrees are, don't give you that. They give you what I call horizontal knowledge, not vertical knowledge. I hope you understand that. So that's why I started IT Varsity in the first place. I started IT Varsity, believe it or not, when we started IT Varsity, we never accepted anybody without a degree, right? It was only afterwards when more and more people started coming to us and saying, we want to study with you, but we don't have a degree. Then we started accepting people who just had metric and some who don't have metric. But in the old days, it was only degree holders. So you did a computer science degree, you came to IT Varsity, we gave you that vertical knowledge. We gave you those skills to become a software developer, to go and get a job. You understand? That's actually why IT Varsity exists. So yeah, that lady, I mean, good luck to her. I'm not going to help her son to get a job, or I mean, I'll give him advice, but I know he's going to struggle because he just doesn't have the skills for job, right? Unless he does a program with us. And that's another thing. I don't upsell. If you want my mentorship, join IT Varsity. Keenan says, do you perhaps have any recommendation on any websites or YouTube channels that we can follow to help us throughout this course? Yes. For websites, W3 Schools is great. YouTube channels, I would suggest perhaps Code Academy. Traversy Media. I like this guy, Traversy Media. Let me just write it down here. So you guys, Traversy Media. For Java, there's Amigos Code. This guy, I just love his style. I just love this guy's style of teaching, Amigos Code. So those of you who are doing the Java stuff, look at him. Imad says, for certain code we struggle with, can we use Bard for assistance? Right, okay, use it. Use Bard, use ChatGPT to assist you, but you need to understand that code. If ChatGPT generates code for you or Bard generates code for you, make sure you understand that code. You understand what is going on in there, right? Otherwise, you're going to get caught out in the assessments, and you're going to get caught out at work, and you don't want that to happen. So Jodash, what certificate do we get once our year is done? You get a National Certificate in Systems Development. It's issued by the MICT CETA. So they are the certification body, not us. But it's a South African Qualifications Authority accredited certificate. Kate says, I'm looking to buy a new laptop. Any suggestions, which is the ideal for coding entrepreneur course? Kate, it depends on your budget, but I think don't go less than an i5 machine with about 8 gigs of RAM and I don't know, 512 gigs of hard disk space. Anything less than that, not worth it. 256 gig hard disk, do not even touch it. Less than 8 gigs RAM, do not touch it. i3 is a donkey. Get an i5, nothing less than that. Of course, I'm a Mac guy myself. So if you want to get a Mac, I would suggest not a MacBook Air, but a MacBook Pro. Okay, that's all we have time for today. We've actually gone 2 minutes over time. Thanks, guys, for being here and for these beautiful questions. If you have any other questions, just remember, drop me an email. Give me just a second. I'm going to put my email address. Oops, another question came across from Sabira. Give me a second, Sabira. I will answer your question now. Bilal@itvarsity.org, or ask one of the support people and they will assist you. So Sabira says, what is the difference between the coding courses and the Aptopreneur course? The Aptopreneur course, Sabira, is a legacy course. It was parked as of mid last year. So the Aptopreneur was almost, how do I put it? It was a coding course, but it kind of mashed up a lot of different concepts together. So what we did was we decided to separate each concept into its own qualification. So now, whereas before we had just Aptopreneur, and that's the only qualification we had, now you've got the front-end specialization, Java specialization, Python specialization, and we're introducing more also, like .NET and things like that. So think of Aptopreneur, and you can't do Aptopreneur anymore because we've parked it. There are a few people who are just finishing it off, but think of it as a more general course, but we moved away from there into more specific technologies. So Jodash says, I see on the IT Varsity website, it says that we need to pay 2,500 Rand for each module, but I've received a bursary. Yeah, if you received a bursary, it's, I think, if you've received a 75% bursary, it's 625 only. You don't have to pay the full 2,500 Rand, which means somebody is paying the rest of the fees for you, which is pretty cool, isn't it? Some very, very generous people out there. So you'll be paying, instead of 2,500 times 12, you'll be paying 625 times 12. So don't worry about the pricing on the website. If you didn't get a bursary, and I think there's a lot of you who didn't qualify for a bursary or didn't get a bursary, then you'll be paying the full price. Okay, I have to jump off. Guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate that you are studying with us. And I wish you the best in your studies with us. And I wish you all the success going forward in your work. Whatever your questions, don't hesitate. Ask away on email. And I'll see you guys next week. Okay, one more question from Jodash. Can we pay 625 once off for the whole year? Yeah, that will be 625 times 12. You can pay it once off for the whole year. We don't stop you from doing that, but you need to speak to Caitlin about that. Cool. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.